Ahoy mga ka-t-shirt! Nandito naman tayo for another t-shirt guy vlog. It's me again, Mike V, your t-shirt guy, to give you personal development topics and IT and tech stuffs. So, kagaya na sinabi ko last week, we will have a new series entitled Scrum 101. So kung interesado ka sa topic na yan, stay tuned mga ka-t-shirt! Eto na nga tayo. So, let's go on with the topic. Ano nga ba yung Scrum? Diba? Hindi ako full-time YouTuber. I have a day job. So, my day job is being a Scrum Master in Indra, Philippines. No? And nag-work ako sa isang telco company as a client. So, right now, they are adopting Agile as their bread and butter when it comes to project management. No? And it's a good thing because lahat ng mga certificates ko right now, I'm practicing it. No? Like for example, I'm a SAFe practitioner and Agilist. Certified Agilist na ako ng SAFe. So, this year ko lang to nakuha. And also, I'm a certified Scrum Master, no, funded by ng Scrum Alliance. And I'm also a practitioner of DSDM, an Agile PM certified din ako, and I'm also a yellow belter Six Sigma. So hindi ko pa napapractice ang Six Sigma but successfully napasa ko tong certification na to. So this certification is a badge of honor, di ba? Kung ikaw professional ka and you wanted to step up the game and you wanted to apply certain specialty skills, so it's better for you to be certified. So itong badge of honors na to will prove na you can handle the situation given the demands of the company. So kung gusto niyo maging Scrum Master, it's better to have this kind of certification. Pero before ko ituro yon, dapat meron kayong prior knowledge kung ano yung Scrum. Diba? Kung ano yung Scrum methodology. Kasi kapag tinatanong ako, ano yung trabaho mo? Ano ba yung trabaho mo sa isang telco? Trabaho ko po ay isang Scrum Master. Balik sa akin nun, ano yung Scrum Master? Ano yung Scrum? So that's the time na i-explain ko na kung ano yung Scrum, ano yung Scrum Master, and so on, and so on. So, I want to inform you kung ano ba talaga yung Scrum before anything else. Before kung sabihin sa inyo kung paano maging Scrum Master, you need to know what is Scrum. Okay? So, andito yung slides natin. So, I will be having a topic once in a while in our vlog for you to be informed kung ano talaga yung profession ko. So, unang-una, before nating i-tackle kung ano yung Scrum, ano ba yung previous na ginagamit? No? Meron tayong tinatawag na traditional and meron din naman tayong tinatawag na agile. Yung traditional, ito yung mga alam to ng mga students ko when I was teaching, na naririnig nyo naman siguro yung SDLC or yung Systems Development Life Cycle, right? So yan, present yan sa lahat ng mga thesis book before, no, nung mga panahon namin. Kasi ito yung patok before. Yung linear methodology na tinatawag, no? Tinatawag din siyang waterfall, tinatawag din siyang yung iba spiral, yung mga ganung mga methodology, yun yung sinauna na linear, very linear, bawal kang bumalik, no? Pa-moving forward ka lang parate. Wala akong certification ng mga old school project management, pero I desire to have one soon. Kasi right now, ginagamit pa rin naman siya ng mga companies. Pero mas patok lang ngayon is yung Agile. So sa loob ng Agile, maraming methodology. So, pero iisa lang sila. Pero different lang on how they implement certain things about Agile. So, itong una is Kanban. So, another methodology yan. Extreme programming, para siyang prototyping. Similar siya kay Kanban as well when it comes to monitoring. And Scrum, ito yung i-discuss natin ngayon. Lean and SAFe. We have SAFe as well. And we have feature-driven development. No? So, let's focus on the Scrum muna ngayon. Dahil sobrang daming topic niyan. It's too broad to explain it in one get-go. No? So, sige. Ano nga ba yung term na Scrum? Scrum is a type of project management or agile methodology, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina. And it promotes the evolution of demands and the variety of solution. Kumbaga, yung demands and solution, nangyayari yun in a given period of time. So, pwede kay Scrum na mag-evolve yung demands ni business and yung solution, no, for improvement. Hindi siya yung kagaya ng SDLC na kung ano yung pinirmahan mo sa una, yun na yung makukuha mo sa huli. Mamaya ma-explain natin kung bakit ganun yung pananaw ng agile methodology or ng Scrum. So next is, pinopromote nila yung collaborative effort ng isang self-organizing team with their customers. Hindi siya yung magkita yung customers do sa unang phase ng traditional, and then pag-usapan nila, they gather in the kick-off meeting, and then they will have a MOA, Memorandum of Agreement, and sa huli, pag natapos na yung buong project, that's the time they will revisit all of the requirements, and then they will try to sign off that paper. So, hindi ganun yung concept ni Scrum. Ang concept ni Scrum, part ng solutioning or part ng day-to-day process si business or si customer para mas maintindihan niya kung ano yung pinapagawa niya at para malaman din niya kung kailangan ba talaga niya yung pinapagawa niya as early as possible. So, makikita nyo dito sa next is yung mga problems na encounter during the traditional approach versus sa Scrum, no? Ito yung problema dati. The first one is miscommunication. Siyempre, hindi naman maaalala 100%, no? Kung we're talking about a year ago, malay mo yung kausap mo before, hindi na yun yung kausap mo the following year pag nag-sign off, di ba? So, magkakaroon ng miscommunication dyan regardless kung naalala niya or not. That's how business works. Kung ganun katagal yung span, yung period of time, di ba? Kasi, oo, may nasusulat, pero malay mo, after that year, hindi na pala valuable yung ginagawa nyo. Due to software development is napakabilis na phasing, di ba? Then, too long to see result. Sobrang tagal. Pinaka maliit na project na nahawakan ko is 6 months. So, yung mga malalaking project, 1 year, 2 years, even 3 years pa nga yung iba. So, napakatagal. Kung gagamitin nyo yung traditional approach, baka by the end na ma-deploy nyo yun, baka hindi rin magamit ng business. The next one is too late to see problem or problems. No, don't have time to resolve it as well. Kasi makikita mo na lang siya pag dineploy mo sa dulo. So ngayon, magka-cram yung team kasi nakikita nila yung mga processes nila doon na sa dulo. And then you have only 1 month na lang to fix all of the things. Diba? So napaka-hectic, napaka-hell week nung mga panahon na yun kapag gagalan yung nangyari. So, Scrum have answers here dun sa traditional approach. So, ito yung mga key solutions niya. So, number 1, promotes collaboration and transparency. So, dahil kasama si customers doon sa interactiveness ng sprint, day-to-day basis, nagkakaroon ng magandang collaboration si business or the customers, papunta naman doon sa developers or doon sa Scrum teams. No, mas nagiging improve yung solution, mas nagiging makikita nila if valuable ba yon or not. So, yun yung kagandahan ng Scrum. And yung Scrum, makikita mo na agad yung results 2 weeks or 4 weeks. So, dahil meron mga sprint review sila with the stakeholders and incremental siya. Hindi siya yung ipepresent mo yung buo na. Ipepresent mo yun piece by piece, feature by feature. Kumbaga, yung valuable na feature, yun yung makikita agad ni business para from that point in time, malalaman na agad nila if they need that or not, or may kailangan pa bang i-tweak, or may kailangan pa bang i-improve doon sa proseso na yun. So, that's Scrum. So, next is, bakit na ba natin pipiliin yung Scrum over the other Agile? So, makikita natin dito, based on my source, Organized Agile, ginagamit sa buong mundo is 80% Scrum. Meaning, kung ginagamit siya ng karamihan sa buong mundo, mas effective siya most of the scenarios. And the second one is Kanban, which is 55%. Agile Portfolio Management is 32%. Other is 24%. 9% is safe. And 4% is less. So, ganun ka demanding si Scrum right now. Kaya makikita nyo doon sa mga online job sites natin, puro Scrum Masters, puro Agile Coach, yung nakikita na natin ng project management, no? Hindi kagaya before na old school project manager yung title. Pero I'm not against with the old school project managers, no. Sobrang gagaling niyan yung mga old school project managers na yan. And nag-evolve lang talaga yung direction ng project management into something na leading towards to collaboration. So, hindi natin sila masisisi. And some of the project managers pala right now, nagta-transition na rin into Scrum Master. Kaya, it's a win-win for each and every one of us, no? Kasi lahat naman ng project managers, they wanted to deliver on time lang, and they wanted to have a meaningful delivery in every products that they have, di ba? So, bukod sa 80%, may mga kilalang companies din na gumagamit ng Scrum. Diyan yung Google, we have Amazon as well, we have Microsoft, we have Toyota, and Procter & Gamble. So, ilan lang yan sa mga companies na gumagamit ng Scrum. So, tignan nyo naman kung gaano kalalaking company na to. And they implemented Scrum as their framework or ways of working, no? And sa tingin ko, may nakita sila doon sa Scrum methodology na nakaka-solve doon sa current demand ng mga tao right now. So, that's a good thing. So, kung ako sa inyo, if you wanted to have certification, it's a hey time for you guys to explore Scrum certification, di ba? So, ito yung bumubuo doon sa Scrum teams, di ba? Una, tandaan natin, 3 to 9 members lang ang isang Scrum team para hindi masyadong hazy or hindi masyadong sobrang hectic na mga bagay-bagay, no? Ang hirap kasi din i-manage yung mga teams kapag more than 9 members na siya. So, ifo-focus natin tong Scrum team na to first before natin pag-usapan yung buong process kasi very crucial yung composition ng team itself para maging successful yung implementation ng Scrum. So, first one, you must have a Scrum Master. So, yan. So, si Scrum Master is like a coach, no? It's like a referee, no? Siya yung nag-guide ng buong team. Kung on track pa ba, kung mayroong blockers ba na you need to resolve every day. So, si Scrum Master yung nag-oversee ng mga bagay-bagay. And then, alongside with him or with her is the product owner. So, si product owner, aka business analyst, siya naman yung in charge doon sa backlog. Pag sinabi nating backlog, yung mga features na gagawin ng team. Kumbaga, yun yung kailangan nilang i-deliver. So, siya yung nagpa-prioritize doon, siya yung naglalagay ng mga requirements, yung mga acceptance criteria. Yun yung trabaho ni product owner. Siya yung nagtatrabaho hand in hand with customers para malaman ng team day-to-day basis kung ano yung talagang kailangan nila. So, siya yung nagdi-data gather, no? And then, you have also, mga developers. Maraming kinds of developers right now, no? Mayroong full stack, may back-end developers, may front-end developers. So, marami, CMS developers. Marami tayong kinds of developers right now. And those developers are the one who will create the actual system or the actual software itself. Kailangan yan. These people are the most hard worker people I've known in my whole entire life. Kasi sila yung talagang workhorses, no? So, hindi mabubuo yung team kung wala namang kung wala namang QA or testers. So, sila yung mga workhorses sa loob ng Scrum team kasi sila yung gumagawa ng software, at the same time, sila din yung nagme-make sure na malinis yung pagkagawa ng software or walang mga bugs or walang mga issues na involving doon sa software or sa application na ginagawa ng Scrum team. So, very crucial tong mga members na to as a composition doon sa Scrum process. So, alam na natin kung sino yung Scrum team, right? So, dumako na tayo dun sa Scrum process. Yan, makikita nyo. Ito yung Scrum framework. This is a very basic Scrum framework naman. Makikita nyo dito, mayroong product backlog. Ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyong backlog kanina, na dito nilalagay ni product owner lahat ng mga request ni business. Tinatawag din itong prioritization board, no? Nandito yung pina-priority ni product owner yung mga bagay-bagay para mas madaling i-plan. Yan, makita nyo dito. Para mas madaling i-sprint planning, para mas madaling ikasa dun sa sprint backlog. Kumbaga, dito, never ending to eh. So, sobrang laki ng capacity nito. Pero yung sprint backlog, there is certain capacity lang yung team. Kasi nga, 2 weeks lang siya or 4 weeks. So, dapat yung capacity ng sprint is based lang dun sa kung ano lang yung kaya ng team. Kaya makikita nyo dito, very limited lang yung space niya. So, take that in mind. So, nangyayari ang sprint planning every the start of the 2 weeks or 4 weeks. So, dito nyo pinaplan yung mga bagay-bagay, kung ano yung mga ipapasok nyo sa loob ng sprint, ano yung mga i-commit nyo doon sa sprint, di ba? Pagkatapos magkaroon ng sprint planning, that's the time papasok na siya sa Scrum team for us to develop, for us to test, and nangyayari yung updates daily. Ang tinatawag namin dun is the daily Scrum or what is known as the daily stand-up. Every morning, ginagawa namin is ina-update namin yung isa't isa. Kung ano na ba yung progress ng project, kung ano na ba yung nangyari, kung meron ka bang na-encounter na blockers, meron ka bang na-encounter na mga problems na kailangan mo si Scrum Master or kailangan mo si Product Owner para to resolve that. So, napaka-importante nung dalawang leader na yun para ma-resolve at para mag-continue yung team sa cycle niya. So, dito, yan, makikita nyo dyan, dapat very smooth yung cycling process ng Scrum team. Kasi kung mag-interrupt yan, dapat willing at ready si Scrum Master at saka si Product Owner for them to help. Okay, para i-remove yung blockers na yun. That's the most important thing. Nakikita nyo dito, hindi kagaya ng traditional approach, nakikita mo yung problema dun na sa huli. Dito, nakikita mo na agad yung problema araw-araw kasi meron tayong daily updates. Then, after nung sprint, meron tayong tinatawag na sprint review. So, sa sprint review, kung ano yung kinumit mo within the sprint, yun yung ipepresent mo sa mga stakeholders. So, doon sila nagbibigay ng feedbacks, doon sila nagbibigay ng suggestion, at doon din nila na-appreciate yung pinagawa nila sa atin. So, yun yung ginagawa natin. So, every 2 weeks and 4 weeks din to, kasi nga every sprint meron to. So, pagkatapos yun at all good, kung sakali mo wala ng suggestion o wala nang kailangan i-fix or kailangan idagdag, no? Pwede na natin ilagay yon as increment or pwede na natin siya i-deploy as an increment, no? Kumbaga yun, malinis na yun. Doon na yun sa repository. Ano yung repository? Doon yung mga codes na iniintay na lang for us to deploy in production. So, after ng sprint review, that's the time meron naman tayong sprint retrospective. Yung sprint retrospective is ginagawa para naman ma-health check yung team. Ano ba yung mga pangit na nangyari para ma-actionan natin sa next sprint para hindi na maulit. So yun yung silbi ni retrospective. For us to know what's wrong and what's to improve, and for us to know kung ano yung mga wins din natin, yung mga quick wins natin. No? Sino ba yung parang napaka-essential ng role this sprint, yung napaka-galing na members ng Scrum team. That's the time we appreciate those hard workers and appreciate their efforts, no? At para malaman din natin kung paano rin natin i-improve yung next sprint natin. That's the process of Scrum retrospective. Very important to. And magkakaroon din tayo ng thought na we have a lot more learnings to come. Hindi nagtatapos yung isang sprint na hindi natin nalalaman kung ano pa yung dapat nating i-improve. So yun, nagsacycle lang yan until matapos yung project at until mabuo mo yung increment mo at mabuo mo yung project itself based dun sa increment. Di ba? Ang ganda, nakikita mo na agad yung value ng mga dinideploy mo 2 weeks and 4 weeks time. At merong collaboration si business and si customers doon sa kung ano yung dinidevelop mo per 2 weeks or 4 weeks po. Yun yung kagandahan ni Scrum. No? So, I think that's it. Marami pa tayong dapat na i-discuss pero hindi kasi siya makompress into isang upuan lang eh. Pero I hope you learn something about Scrum and it will make or break our series nga pala. Ha? Kung maraming nanood nito, thank you and we will continue the Scrum. Pero kung hindi, siguro i-continue natin some other time. Pero keep safe everyone and hope you like this edition of our new series. Supportahan nyo po ang T-shirt guy para mas maparami pa natin mga ka-T-shirt natin. And next week, we will continue doing good contents and see you next week on the next T-shirt guy vlog.